Welcome back to Welsh Miniature Ball Gamer. Yes, this is my monthly roundup of what I got painted, this being April 2025. So you may notice there are some new things on the channel, i.e. the intro. I've actually got music in the intro now, which I never had before. Now, some people were against the idea of having music in the intro and they wanted me to just jump straight into the video. Now I'll explain that why I don't really want to do that. I feel like if I've got an intro and an outro, it feels like it's more of a production, and I can say like, here it starts, here it ends, and it just feels right for me, for my brand. Not that I got a brand, but it feels right for me, and I'm gonna stick with that probably from now on. But tell me in the comments below, and I do take things on board, and so yeah. Speaking of taking things on board, people have said that they would rather me have a FaceTime intro like this, explaining stuff, so that you can get to know me a bit better and, maybe feel some sort of, I don't know, familiarity to me. So this is me. I'm looking a bit shaggy at the moment because it has been the Easter holidays here, so I've been spending the last 2 weeks ferrying my children around the various places. We went to go and see Raglan Castle, which is a really nice castle, by the way, so if you're ever in Wales, go and check out Raglan Castle. It's a really nice place to visit with the kids, etc. Quite open as well, so if you're not great with crowds, like I'm not great with crowds, it's a good place to visit because you never feel really hemmed in. So yeah, this month I've managed to paint up 19 miniatures, which, considering the girls have been off, isn't such a bad amount. Yeah, no, I think 19 miniatures was a pretty decent haul. Also, lately I've been, on my monthly roundup videos, I've been making suggestions for other channels you could go and watch. This month, of course, I'm going to suggest the Crafty Mini. He's a friend of the channel, and as you may know, we've done a collaboration in the past, which was a lot of fun, and is a really top-notch bloke, really nice guy, and does some really interesting videos. The last one I watched was on colour shift paints, etc., which, yeah, some interesting things I didn't know about colour shift paint. So yeah, thanks for that, Crafty Mini, and I'll put your details down below. Go over and give him some loves. Apart from that, that's about it. Let's go and have a look at what miniatures I managed to paint up. So what did we get painted? Well, first of all, we got painted one of these Wargames Atlantic Foot Knights, kind of as a palette cleanser because I was doing other projects and I wanted to do something a bit different. So it's a good way of refreshing yourself by doing these little palette cleanser type of projects. And I think it turned out alright. I like painting these knights. They're nice and easy to do and enjoyable. So yeah, that's why he's here and that's why he got done. So this guy is one of the Oathmark human range. I'm not quite sure which one it is. I think it's infantry. And he's all got the arms of the Wargames Atlantic Conquistadors. So yeah, again, really enjoyed these miniatures sort of as a way of cleaning my palette. Just paint up something and, get my flow clean, so to speak. This is the Frostgrave Guide, or Expert Guide. The argument's still ongoing. So, yeah, I really liked this miniature. I like the colour scheme that I picked for her. I think it really does suit who she's meant to be, etc. And I did a decent enough job of sort of actually doing the paint work, after coming up with a scheme, etc. Then we have this guy who was the guide, or expert guide, again, questionable which, and he was in the pack for the Frostgrave. And yeah, as you can see, I've already chipped him. Trouble with it being a metal miniature is, of course, if you bang them, they do chip a bit, especially when you haven't had a chance to varnish them yet because our weather has been terrible lately. Very few dry days for me to spray things. So the big project was, of course, the 40k orcs I did. I didn't actually paint up as many as I thought I did, but I painted up enough that I needed a palette cleanser, and yeah, they are nice. I really do like painting up the 40k orcs. They're so bold and big. Again, it's kind of, easy to do because of the scale of them and because everything is very much overemphasized. But orcs are orcs, and I do enjoy painting orcs. be they space orcs or, sort of fantasy orcs, be they with a C or a K. Rather the orcs with a C actually than a K, but you can't be choosers. So yeah, I did a bit of milliput work with this miniature. So yeah, I actually did some cloaks, which, this one turned out better than the one I was just showing you. This one, actually, the floor length one worked out really well. It does look like a full length cloak, and he was a mashup of a Mantic Vermin and a 40k orc. So yeah, they worked really quite well. So this guy's kind of a standard one. I did him quite a clean painting, quite that sort of cartoony almost, because it's very sort of, everything is its colour with a line of dark, like to just separate each colours, etc. And it gives you a little bit of like a clean, cartoony look to it, I think. I kind of like it sometimes, and it's not my style, but I do kind of like it. And of course, there's this guy who's doing the Sylvester Stallone with his LMG, just blasting away one-handed. Because why not? If you've got muscles like this orc, you might actually get away with it. So then we've got some of these Stalgrave scavengers. So yeah, the idea was I wanted to make some scavengers, just a couple, but I wanted to use the same head and kind of be the upgrade of the same character. So as you can see, this guy's got a pistol and the other one's got a rifle. So I can use the same character maybe in a game and like, oh yeah, you found a rifle, and swap out the miniature, to be, now this is the same guy, obviously, because he's got the same head and the same beret, same jacket, but he's a different guy because he's differently equipped. That's what I'm trying to say as they go on. So I just found another one of the Frostgrave demons, which I hadn't finished. So yeah, I did him up while I was there. Quite like the colour scheme, like that sort of bronzy, goldy, whatever colour you want to call that armour. Very sort of, I don't know, Aztec colouring maybe. And I do quite like the blue skin tone, which is a bit of a different one for me. So we have another Wargames Atlantic Knight, just sort of chucked together. I think he had the legs of the Conquistadors, the bodies of the Conquistadors, that's right, and the arms and head of the Wargames Atlantic Foot Knights. And yeah, he painted up okay. Again, it was a sort of a palette cleanser. He's not meant to be brilliant. He was just something, I can play with him. I would have no problems playing with him, but just something, to clean my palette, so to speak. This guy was a eBay or Etsy, I'm not quite sure. My brother bought him, a 3D printed barbarian. I tried a different skin tone on him, a bit sort of darker, and I think it worked really quite well actually. It looks good, so once I've shown you it, I will be, of course, handing it back to my brother because it's his miniature. But yeah, I painted it up for him, and yeah, I kind of like that skin colour. Can't remember how I did it, but I do like that skin tone. I'll have to try and figure it out again if I want to use it again. So, of course, another one, I think Etsy or eBay by, again, my brother wanted a miniature from Final Fantasy, and this is the one he bought, so I've painted it up fairly well. Yeah, he's okay. The miniature was quite nice, actually. It was quite interesting to paint a cartoon style miniature again. Yeah, it painted up quite well. So you might have seen this is not a painting tutorial of me painting up this Colonial Marine from Papsicle, although maybe he's not Colonial Marine, as we don't think copyright, obviously. And so yeah, so this Marine painted up really well. I enjoyed painting him. It's in the colour scheme that I'm going to be doing for all of my Marines. But we also got this Lone Survivor from Papsicle. Looks very much like Rain, but yeah, isn't, of course. And yeah, painted it up. Really enjoy painting Papsicle stuff. Really nice. I tried to get her Reebok, Space Reeboks, which aren't quite the same as Ripley's, but they're very similar. They're a bit lower down and maybe slightly less ankle support. But yeah, really quite enjoy painting the Papsicle stuff. They're really nice. Tried to put some colour into the base, you know, so it's not too dull, etc. I think it worked quite well. Quite enjoyed painting her. Well, I really enjoyed painting her. I think the paint job was okay. So my favourite miniature of the month is probably this one, the Frostgrave Guide. Really enjoyed the paint scheme and really think I applied that paint scheme quite well. Maybe for my second place I would pick the Colonial Marine. So, if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, etc. But until next time, it's going to be goodbye from me, Welsh Miniature Board Gamer. So if you're one of the few people who've actually made it to the end of my videos, I'm putting up at the end 2 options for my intro and outro music. Now, seeing that you've sat through that entire video, I want you guys to pick which one to put on my videos, or which one you'd suggest for my brand. Not necessarily your favourite piece of music, but you know, the one that you think fits my brand the best. So we got like more of a traditional one, which you would have heard in the intro, and we got a more upbeat, more memorable, more funky, more interesting song with the second one. But I'm going to put the 2 at the end of this video, and if you can write number 1 or number 2 in any of your comments, and I'll be able to see that, and people who didn't actually sit to the end of the video won't really understand why you're putting 1 or 2, but it'll work for me and I'll understand. So thanks for that, and I will see you again soon.